In the hidden realms beyond what the eyes can see, a battle rages, a battle not for your body but for your spirit. You, the chosen one, are not under attack because you are weak, but because you are powerful beyond measure. Spiritual attacks are the enemy's desperate attempts to derail your purpose, to shatter your connection with the universe, and to make you doubt your divine mission. This battle is subtle, silent, and insidious. It rarely announces itself with grand displays. Instead, it creeps into your life through feelings of confusion, isolation, and despair. But here's the truth. The stronger your light, the more shadows it will attract. You are not alone in this battle, and most importantly, you are not powerless. Today, we are going to expose the warning signs of a spiritual attack, signs that only chosen ones experience, because your calling is unique, and so are the battles you face. Have you ever felt like your soul was under siege, but you couldn't quite explain why? Have you ever felt disconnected from your spiritual practices, like the very source that once nourished you was slipping from your grasp? If any part of your spirit resonates with this, you are not imagining it. You are experiencing the warfare that comes with being chosen. And this is why your awareness is your greatest weapon. As we uncover these signs, I want you to engage with your intuition. If you felt any of these attacks, leave 77 in the comments. You are not alone, and by sharing, you become a beacon for others on this journey. Together, we break the silence and reclaim our power. So let's begin, because knowing these signs could mean the difference between falling under attack and rising above it. The subtle fog, losing passion for spiritual practices. One of the earliest and most deceptive signs of a spiritual attack is the quiet erosion of your passion for spiritual practices. It doesn't come with a loud crash. It comes like a soft fog, covering what once burned brightly within you. Suddenly, the joy you felt in prayer, meditation, or reflection feels like a distant memory. You catch yourself skipping your spiritual routines, convincing yourself that you're just tired, just busy, just not in the mood. But this is not random. It is a calculated strategy. The enemy knows that your connection to the universe is your greatest source of strength. So it doesn't attack the connection head-on, it attacks your desire to connect. Think about it. When does this fog usually descend? Often, it's right after a period of growth, a breakthrough, or a moment when you felt deeply aligned with your purpose. Why? Because the enemy fears your momentum. It knows that if it can sever your connection to the universe, you will drift, untethered, vulnerable, and isolated. You may feel like your spirit is adrift, but understand this. The fog is a sign that you are on sacred ground. This is the moment to fight not with intensity, but with consistency. Even if your heart feels cold, keep your practices alive. Pray even when you feel nothing. Meditate even when your mind races. Show up for your soul, and the passion will return, because your spirit doesn't need motivation. It needs remembrance. You are not what you feel in the moment. You are what you choose consistently. This fog is not the end. It is the enemy's last-ditch effort to stop you from breaking through. Do not let it succeed. The trap of scarcity, financial struggles as spiritual warfare, sudden financial strain, unexplained losses, opportunities slipping through your fingers. It may seem like bad luck, but chosen ones, there is no such thing as coincidence when it comes to your spiritual path. Financial struggles can often be a direct form of spiritual warfare. Why? Because the enemy knows that when your material foundation is shaken, your faith will be tested. It's a tactic designed to make you question your path, to push you into survival mode, and to force you into a corner where fear speaks louder than your faith. But here is what they don't want you to know. Scarcity is an illusion. The universe is abundant, and as a chosen one, you are aligned with that abundance. So why the attack? Because the enemy's true goal is not your money, it is your mind. Financial strain is a tool to trigger fear, anxiety, and doubt. It wants you to believe that you are forsaken, that your spiritual path is costing you your stability. But this is a deception, because chosen ones are never truly without resources. They are tested in their ability to see beyond resources. Many of the greatest spiritual breakthroughs are hidden within financial struggles. The enemy hopes you will panic, but here is your true power. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Every closed door redirects you to the right path. Every loss is a shedding, not a punishment. And here's the ultimate truth: the enemy cannot stop what is divinely yours. Scarcity is a shadow, abundance is your birthright. So stand firm if you have less. Give because generosity in scarcity breaks the illusion of lack. If you feel anxious, trust, because faith in uncertainty breaks the chains of fear. And if you are tested, persevere, because on the other side of this battle is not just abundance, but authority. The chosen one does not crumble under scarcity. They rise above it, knowing that what is meant for them can never be taken, only delayed for greater purpose. The trap of scarcity: financial struggles as spiritual warfare. Have you ever faced a season where your resources seemed to vanish, no matter how hard you worked or how faithful you remained? When every opportunity slipped through your fingers and you began to wonder if the universe had turned its back on you? This is not just a financial crisis, it is spiritual warfare in disguise. The enemy knows that chosen ones are deeply connected to their purpose, and the quickest way to shake their faith is to threaten their foundation, their ability to survive and provide. Financial attacks are not about money, they are about your mindset. The enemy uses scarcity to plant seeds of fear, doubt, and despair. It wants you to believe that you are alone, abandoned, and powerless. But here is the truth: scarcity is an illusion, and fear is its weapon. The most dangerous part of this warfare is not the loss of money, but the loss of vision. When you become consumed with survival, your spiritual sight narrows, and your purpose becomes blurry. You start to question your path, compromise your values, and abandon your dreams for the false comfort of security. The enemy wants you to measure your worth by your bank account, hoping you'll forget that your true wealth is your spiritual authority. The chosen ones are not defined by their resources, they are defined by their resilience. The universe often allows financial battles not to punish you, but to purge you, to strip away your attachment to material illusions and awaken your trust in divine provision. This is your moment of choice. Will you bow to fear, or will you stand firm in faith? The enemy hopes you will panic, but panic is the language of scarcity. Faith is the language of abundance. When the enemy takes from you, give, because generosity breaks the curse of lack. When the enemy pressures you, trust, because patience activates divine timing. And when the enemy isolates you, declare, because your voice shapes your reality. Remember, the enemy cannot steal what is yours, it can only test your belief in it. Scarcity is a trap, but faith is the key. The chosen ones do not crumble under financial attacks, they rise above them, proving that abundance is not what you have, it is what you believe. Energy drain, persistent fatigue beyond the physical. There is a weariness that no amount of sleep can cure, a deep, soul-level exhaustion that lingers even after rest. If you have felt this, know that it is more than physical, it is spiritual. The chosen ones are vessels of divine light, and the enemy knows that the easiest way to dim that light is to drain their life force. Fatigue is a tactic designed to break your spiritual defenses, because a tired spirit is easier to deceive. When you are weary, your prayers feel hollow, your discernment grows cloudy, and your purpose feels distant. You lose not only your strength but your will to fight. But this exhaustion is not random, it is warfare. This attack often begins subtly: sleepless nights filled with anxious thoughts, overwhelming responsibilities that leave you too drained for spiritual practice, or sudden life crises that sap your joy. The enemy orchestrates chaos around you so that your soul becomes too tired to resist. And here is the greatest deception. It wants you to believe that your fatigue is a failure, that you are weak because you are weary. But the truth is, your exhaustion is evidence of your power. The enemy would not fight so hard to deplete you if your light were not a threat. So how do you fight a battle when you have no strength left? You stop fighting with force and start fighting with alignment. Fatigue is a sign that you are carrying burdens not meant for you. Release them. You are not meant to conquer this battle through willpower but through surrender. Rest is not a weakness, it is a weapon. When you rest, you declare that your strength comes not from striving but from the universe itself. And here is a deeper truth: the enemy can drain your body, but it cannot touch your spirit. The chosen ones do not burn out, They burn through exhaustion, through doubt, through every tactic the enemy deploys, because their power is not in their energy but in their connection. And no attack, no fatigue, no force in the universe can sever that connection unless you let it. The silent drift, weakened prayer life. It starts quietly, a missed prayer here, a rushed meditation there, until one day you realize that your connection with the universe feels distant. Your once burning desire for communion has dimmed, and what used to feel like a sacred lifeline now feels like a burden. This is not a loss of faith, it is a spiritual attack. The enemy knows that prayer is your greatest weapon, because prayer is not just communication with the universe, it is alignment with your power. So the enemy doesn't destroy your prayer life overnight. It distracts you, disheartens you, and disrupts you. The attack often comes disguised in the chaos of daily life. Suddenly you are too busy, too tired, or too anxious to pray, or it comes in the form of disappointment, prayers that seem unanswered, battles that feel unending, making you question, why bother? But this is precisely the trap. The enemy wants you to believe that prayer is a transaction, that if you don't see results, it isn't working. But the chosen ones know this truth. Prayer is not about outcomes, it is about alignment. When you stop praying, you don't lose the universe's power, you lose your awareness of it, and that awareness is everything. So how do you reclaim what has been stolen? You return, not with performance, but with presence. Pray even when you feel nothing, because prayer is not a feeling, it is a frequency. Pray not for answers, but for alignment. And understand this, the enemy fears a chosen one who prays in the darkness, because darkness cannot survive where there is connection. A weakened prayer life is not a defeat, it is a call to battle. And the battle is won not when you feel powerful, but when you are present. Because the chosen ones do not pray to survive, they pray to conquer. And conquer you will. The shadow of fear, anxiety, confusion, and emotional turmoil. There is no weapon more effective in spiritual warfare than fear. Fear is not just an emotion, it is a strategy, one designed to paralyze your spirit and sever your connection with divine truth. Anxiety, confusion, and emotional chaos are not random, they are tactics. When you feel lost in a fog of worry and uncertainty, it is because the enemy is trying to reroute your spirit. It wants you to stop trusting your intuition, to doubt your purpose, and to believe the lie that you are alone. But here is what you must understand. Fear only has power where truth is absent. Anxiety is the enemy's attempt to overload your mind, to keep you trapped in cycles of what if and why me. Confusion is the attempt to cloud your intuition, to make you mistrust the very guidance that was placed within you. And emotional turmoil is the attempt to disrupt your spirit, because a heart in chaos cannot hear the universe clearly. But the chosen ones must remember, the presence of fear does not mean the absence of power. In fact, fear often appears when you are closest to your breakthrough. Why? Because the enemy is most threatened when your spirit is closest to clarity. So how do you overcome this shadow? Not by fighting against fear, but by standing above it. Fear is a fog, it cannot survive the light of truth. Speak truth out loud. I am not lost, I am being guided. I am not alone, I am supported. I am not powerless, I am chosen. Your clarity comes not from answers, but from awareness, awareness that the universe is with you even when the path is unclear. And here is the deepest truth. The enemy uses fear because it cannot use faith. It cannot touch what you believe. And the chosen ones, no matter how dark the storm, no matter how loud the chaos, believe. You will not be broken by confusion because your soul knows the way. You will not be overcome by anxiety because your spirit is anchored beyond the storm. And you will not be defeated by fear because you are not its prisoner, you are its conqueror. Fear may shadow your path, but remember, you are the light. And darkness only has power until the light decides to shine. The pull of the past, resurgence of old habits and temptations. Have you ever felt yourself slipping back into habits you thought you had conquered? Old patterns, toxic relationships, and self-destructive behaviors resurface, pulling you into a cycle you fought so hard to break. It feels like you're losing ground, like all your spiritual progress is unraveling. But chosen one, this is not a failure, it is warfare. The enemy knows that your past is the easiest doorway back into your life, because it carries the weight of familiarity. Old habits do not return by chance. They are summoned by the forces that fear your transformation and seek to bind you to who you were, so you never step into who you are becoming. This attack is cunning because it wears the mask of nostalgia. The enemy whispers, "It wasn't so bad. You were happier then. Go back, it's easier." But here is the truth. The past feels familiar, but it was never meant to be your home. The chosen ones are called forward, not backward. The enemy wants to entangle you because it knows that every step you take into old habits is a step away from your divine assignment. But there is something the enemy fears more than your past. It fears your awareness. Awareness that setbacks are not signs of defeat, but invitations to conquer the battle from a higher level. So how do you break free? You confront the illusion. Your past is not calling you, it is testing you. It is asking, do you still belong here or have you outgrown me? And your answer is in your actions. Cut the cords, close the doors. And when temptation knocks, do not negotiate, declare. I am not who I was, I am who I am becoming. The enemy may remind you of your past, but you must remind the enemy of its place behind you, because the chosen ones do not fear their past, they redeem it. And through every battle, every temptation, and every fall, they rise stronger, not because they never stumbled, but because they never stayed down. The isolation tactic, withdrawal from spiritual fellowship. There is a lie the enemy loves to whisper. No one understands you, you're better off alone. And if you listen long enough, you'll find yourself withdrawing from your community, from your spiritual family, from those who are meant to stand with you in the battle. Suddenly, you don't feel like joining the group, sharing your struggles, or reaching out for support. And here is the trap. Isolation feels like protection, but it is actually a prison. The enemy knows that chosen ones are strongest when they are connected. So, it attacks your relationships to divide you from your source of support. It stirs offense, miscommunication, and pride to convince you that solitude is safer than vulnerability. But isolation is not safety, it is strategy. A lone soldier is easier to defeat than an army. A burning coal, removed from the fire, grows cold. The enemy does not isolate you because you are weak. It isolates you because it fears your strength when you are united with others. Chosen one, this is the truth. Fellowship is not a convenience. It is a covering. You are not meant to carry every battle alone. Your spiritual family is not there to judge you. They are there to fight for you. So when the enemy says, withdraw, you must do the opposite, reconnect. Reach out before the silence becomes a stronghold. Confess before pride becomes a prison. And remember, vulnerability is not weakness. It is a weapon. The enemy isolates to conquer, but the chosen ones unite to overcome. You are never stronger than when you are standing with those who speak your name in prayer and your victory into existence. The battle of dreams, disturbing visions, and nightmares. Have you ever been shaken awake by a dream so dark it felt like it reached into your soul? Dreams are the language of the spirit, a place where divine messages, warnings, and insights are revealed. But chosen one, know this. The battlefield is not only in your waking life, it is in your sleep. When the enemy cannot reach you in the physical, it comes for you in the spiritual, planting fear, confusion, and chaos through your dreams. Nightmares are not random. They are interruptions to your peace, your clarity, and your divine guidance. The enemy uses dreams because it understands their power. Disturbing visions aim to corrupt your frequency, making you wake up in fear instead of faith. But here's the secret the enemy doesn't want you to know. Dreams do not belong to darkness. They belong to you. The enemy can only infiltrate what you leave unguarded. Your sleep is sacred, and your dreams are a portal to divine revelation. So, how do you fight this battle? You consecrate your rest. Before you sleep, cover yourself. Speak protection over your mind. Declare, no darkness may enter my dreams. No fear may take root in my spirit. Only the divine may speak to me in my rest. Place light around your space, not just physical light, but spiritual light, through affirmations, through scripture, through peace-filled intentions. And when you face a disturbing dream, do not fear it, interpret it. Ask, what is the enemy trying to hide by showing me this shadow? What truth is it trying to keep me from seeing? Because often, nightmares are not attacks. They are disguised warnings, clues that the enemy is trying to stop you from stepping into something powerful. And here is the greatest truth. The enemy can enter your dreams, but it cannot control your destiny. Nightmares are a distraction. Your purpose is the reality. You are not powerless in your sleep. You are sovereign. So sleep in peace, chosen one. For the battle belongs to the universe, and the victory, even in your dreams, belongs to you. Overcoming spiritual attacks and reclaiming power. Chosen one, if you have felt every one of these battles, if you have fought through apathy, scarcity, fatigue, isolation, fear, and confusion, then know this: you are not losing, you are leveling up. The enemy has fought you on every front because your spirit is dangerous, dangerous to darkness, dangerous to deception, and destined for greatness. Spiritual attacks are not signs of defeat. They are indicators of your power. The question is not if you will be attacked. The question is, how will you respond? The enemy's goal has always been to disconnect you from your purpose, from your power, and from the universe. So how do you overcome? You reconnect. Reconnect to the universe through prayer, not perfect words, but authentic presence. Reconnect to your power through persistence, not flawless actions, but faithful choices. Reconnect to your purpose through remembrance, not by chasing a destination, but by becoming who you already are. And above all, stand. Stand when the fog of apathy clouds your spirit. Stand when scarcity shakes your foundation. Stand when fatigue tells you to quit. Stand when fear roars in your heart. Because the enemy's greatest lie is this: that if you are under attack, you must be losing. But here is the truth. If you are under attack, it is because you are winning. Chosen one, your victory is not in avoiding the battle, it is in enduring it. The enemy attacks what it cannot defeat, and it cannot defeat you. Why? Because you are not fighting alone. The universe fights with you, within you, and through you. Your attacks are real, but so is your authority. And when the battle feels unbearable, remember, the weight you carry is the crown you wear. So rise, chosen one, not because the battle is over, but because you are greater than the battle. And let the enemy hear you say, I am not afraid, I am not defeated, I am chosen, and I will not fall.